Hi everyone, I am Farah Salsabila. I'm one of the member of my group. We are discussing about rethinking literacy teacher in digital era. Uh, we've already divided our presentation into four main presentation. Uh, each presentation discuss different thing, and I'm going to discuss about digital technology, literacy, and teacher education. Right. In this presentation, there are four main parts. The first one is digital technologies in teacher education from mythologies to making. The second one, negotiating multiple literacies within the context of teacher and teacher education. And the third one, the impact of policy on the teacher education and literacy education in England. And the last one is preparing to teach 21st century literacies. Right. Digital technology uh, is neither good nor bad. It also not natural. It depends on the situation and the context. And the word digital technology bring the perspective, bring the what is it? Bring the perspective that it's a set of tablet, the computer, the interactive whiteboards, and so on. And the popular press frequently tell us about the latest must-have gadgets and software in order to be able to have a new approaches to teaching and learning. And yeah, they think it's more efficient, productive, and more engaging for teaching and learning activity. And we find various kind of application available in the app store, in the uh, Google and apps. They compete to have attention from teacher, students, parents to use this kind of application. And over the past few years, 21st century techno enthusiasts, they proclaimed an online courses, a massive open online courses or MOOC that can take over the primary role in classroom instruction. They think this one will succeed where the motion pictures failed in the classroom instruction. And it's also bring the failure and educational technology. Uh, the idea of this program is to turn into expertly crafted curriculum content at a particular time of the day, and teachers were reduced to the ones operating the technology, literally turning the dial and assessing how well the students understood the content from distant experts. And yeah, the failure itself, it can relate it to the teacher because teacher cannot be replaced by the technology. Teacher is the brain of the education. So uh, if they marginalize the teacher, the classroom, the students, uh, they're not going to be improved. And this failure uh, is contributed from the two mythology, and one is the use of economic education system better teaching faster, and the second one is the mythology of the requirement of acquiring the knowledge of theory before having a chance to practice. Well, better teaching faster, teaching faster if one adopts the view that quality teaching is simply a matter of delivering the correct content to the correct group of the students. Uh, it demands a lucrative solution, right? And this kind of product of this methodology is like they provide the pre-designed material like CD, cassette, and course packs, and so on, and it can be distributed to the student directly. And the reason the reason adopting these educational technologies is like it's about economic reasoning. It's less cost and quality. They have less cost and quality, I think. But the mythology of better teaching faster has little basis in reality. There might be inherent efficiencies in having a pre-designed courses ready for consumption, but basing the argument for the integration of digital technologies into education, particularly teacher education on efficiency models, seem doomed to failure according to the history. And the second one is uh, the mythology of the requirement of acquiring the knowledge or theory before having a chance to practice. Well, this mythology, like we need to make a mistake in order to improve, in order to be better in any aspect. So, acquiring the knowledge and theory before having a chance to practice is like uh, nonsense, I think, because teaching is never a routine. Teaching can be addressed simultaneously, and also in teaching, there's a process building a relationship to a diverse group, of students, and also uh, in teaching requires multi kinds of knowledge to be integrated. It's not only based on the knowledge or theory. Well, aside of this failure and the contributors, well, we're going to talk about the four competencies. These competencies that teachers must require in order to use digital technologies. The first one is technical competency. This technical competency allows the teacher to use the technology. Let's say by having this competency, teachers are able to install the application, updating the software, turning in, turning off, and doing troubleshooting, maybe like a scanning viruses. Yeah, many things that teachers can do by having this competency. And then the second one is informational competency. Informational competency, it is enable the teacher, especially new teacher, to use the technology to retrieve, to gain information. They can can get various information through a website, through uh, SNS, and they can spread the program to by having this kind of competency. And then the third one is social competency. Social competency, it's really helpful to teacher to use the technology to interact, to socialize, to communicate with other people through online platform. They can messaging, they can voice recording, they can discussing a certain topic using a certain media, and also they can send and replying emails through this competency. And then the last one is epistemological competency. This competency allows the teacher to assign the task to digital technology to generate new knowledge. Let's say nowadays the most familiar one is Google Form. Google Form, it's enable us to create, to assign the task, a survey, etc. And we can also program make a program using this competency. Right. This four competency is really crucial in order to use digital technologies properly. Right. And then after that, we maker pedagogy and teacher education. Maker pedagogy. Well, maker phenomenon is not new, and it's also not old phenomena. Yeah, maker movement. I mean, now human to human, uh, we create anything since in our long history. So it's not new. So maker pedagogy and teacher education is like they bring the identity to construct, like let's say a simple robot and computer programming and etc. This kind of this kind of uh, pedagogy, micropedagogy, and teacher education, they need principle. The first one is ethical hacking. Ethical hacking is deconstructing existing technology aimed to create knowledge, such as taking out the organ of old computer to learn the hardware to apply it into other knowledge. And then the second one is adapting. Adapting is applying technology other than the original purpose. It's like, for example, using an old smartphone, the unused smartphone, and to learn the elements of computer programming. So this kind of adaptation is really helpful in education. And then designing. Designing is a process of selecting and using technological artifacts and ideas to solve a problem, like using tapes, batteries, and LED to design decorative circuit that can be integrated in the clothing. And then the last one is creating. Creating is like, which means to archive contextual knowledge obtained through engaging in the process of making. Let's say playing a video games to design a maker spaces, like the maker, they engaging in playing a video game to check whether it works properly or not. Okay, the next one is we're discussing about negotiating multiple literacies within the context of teacher education. Well, in this part, it brings up the social turn that contribute the new literacy studies. This what is it? Social turn, but embedded within time, place, and culture. And to understand literacy from a sociocultural perspective means that reading and writing can only be understood in the context of social, cultural, political, economic, historical practices. So this social cultural approach to literacy forms the basis of new literacy studies. New literacy studies considers how people use reading and writing uh, in different domains of life for different purposes. And in this part, in this section, the researcher research about the literacy courses for the student teacher, and the findings is the researchers findings shows the literacy courses shifted the conception of literacy, and the previous one, the subject, they only think that literacy is the activity of reading and writing, but by having this chance of literacy courses, they her conception, her perspective toward literacy has been shifted. And also their conception of literacy broadened. It can broaden into the multiple formats and tools. And also it helps them to grow awareness to emerge technologies for literacy teaching. And also the impact of policy on teacher education and literacy education in England. This one is based on the empirical study. The policy sometimes it's not in line with the educational needs, but again, in the government set the rules for education, and in this matter, policy has its effect. Uh, And because of the shortage, the drawbacks of the policy that given from the government, the teacher education, like they form, what is it? They form another option to, uh, an option like approaches to literacy education. The example of this, uh, approaches, like the first, they apply such a study of the use of educational blocks in 3 South London primary schools. So to 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 cover the drawbacks of the policy, the teacher, they need to make their own decision. They make their own innovation. So uh, the teacher education in London, they make their own activity, like they use educational blocks for primary schools, and also they provide a project involving groups of school pupils in collaboration with students with the pre-service teacher education course. So they use their own tablet, they edit, they present a series of short films. So this kind of activities, this support the literacy activity. Like, yeah, teacher can grow their own decision, can grow their own program along with the policy that being implemented by the government. And then how to prepare to teach 21st centuries. Well, since the appearance of affordable desktop computers, like digital literacy is considered like a potential transformation. This adoption of the new technologies has been rapidly growing, and many sectors of population, they quickly absorbed this technology in their daily life. Like they mm, they use technology in various forms of activity, like they do like social enterprise, they do financial transaction, uh, as well as the social interaction between like parents to children, friends and partners, and families and other interests of group. And this interaction, uh, it's more likely using the media, the digital technology that already provided, like Facebook, Instagram, Skype, WhatsApp, and so on. But the education system responded this rapid changes of technology quite slow, and because there are many challenges that being faced by the education sector. The first challenges is like teacher preparation takes place in a wide variety of situation and contexts. While this first challenges is due to the different models of training the teacher get. Like for example, from the traditional university course with practicum proficient, and then university school training partnership, and also newer programs that are entirely school based. And then the second one is the field of digital literacy is characterized by fluidity and rapid development as new devices become available and new programs and applications are developed. So because the development itself is rapid, uh, the education sector they cannot decide which one is more appropriate for education. And then the key issues of embedded literacy, digital literacy, and wider social practices. Well, to introduce literacy into educational practice is not an easy process. It involves the resources, the material, the approaches to teaching and learning, and curriculum context, and also the extensive literature that yeah, they need to be ready. And also, this can affect the digital literacy and wider social practices. The first one is digital practice have emerged alongside significant changes in social life. Like I've already mentioned before, this social life is being influenced greatly by digital. And this changes also reconsider the relationship between teacher and student, not also the group of people I mentioned before. And also digital practices, particularly those that take place in online spaces, foreground issues of identity and self-presentation. Right. Uh, to be in online or in digital practice, we need to manage our online identity and also to develop the safe, ethical, and advantageous practices. And the last one is digital competence is not even evenly distributed. And like it, there's a social gap between younger people and the older people. The younger people nowadays they call the native digital native, while the older one they're quite slow to adopt the digital technology in their life. And then the area of the okay, and the area of digital literacy in the classroom studies. The first one is virtual play. Virtual play, video games, and virtual world occupy an important place in our life, especially in many children and young people. And sometimes it's common they live in their realm that it can entertain and educate them. And virtual play give the opportunities to uh, be active in engagement, production, interaction with the 21st century literacies. However, virtual games, video games, virtual world, uh, sometimes they do not uh, well, they do not apply this kind of uh, opportunities, but they may simply entertain the players. The worst thing is this being unhelpful and um, unhelpful and become unhealthy, like a consumerism. And then the second one is social networking. Social networking is supported by the social software like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and maybe in the future they will discover new software. Uh, in this social networking, it allows people to interact using this kind of uh, application that I've already mentioned before. And of course, if it brings to the classroom, it gives the advantages like it can contribute to increasing individuals' life chances, enhancing civic engagement, empowerment through collaboration and participation, and also making contribution to the wider community and recognizing and responding to diverse identities and viewpoints. So social networking is really helpful for the teachers to be like to build the literacy skills and also other skills that I mentioned before. And then the last one is extended classroom. In the extended classroom, we can apply the virtual world, the virtual program into our classroom. Like we can apply like blogging, YouTube channels, Skype, and digital tools to promote this kind of activities. And nowadays, there are many platforms we can use like Zoom, Google Meeting, and so on. I think this this rapid development is not going to stop soon. So maybe in the future, there are many mm, there are many tools that we can adapt to our classroom. So this is the end of my presentation. Uh, if you have any question, please feel free to ask me. Uh, you can give comment to in the chat room. Okay, thank you.